Hello and welcome. This is a cute little pattern and I may eventually put some more videos in here because it's just so fun to make up with different patterns of paper. But we're going to make what I call a fun fold-up album. I'm going to just get myself on camera here. So give me 1 second. Take a look here. I've got kind of a list of the things we're going to be using. And okay, there I am in camera. Excellent. If you have full view, yeah, okay, you can see the measurements on my trimmer so that when we cut, and you should have about almost 3 yards of ribbon. It takes quite a bit, but I've given you more than enough. I'm going to use some two-sided tape and foam tape. I'm going to use glue. You use your favorite adhesive. I'm going to use a pair of scissors. All right, so let's get started. I'm trying to think what to start with first. These are really cute. It's going to be the cover. So let's get that covered up. So set your chipboard aside. Find your 2 pieces of white cardstock. Whoop, and my glue just went rolling. We're going to cut these to 7 by 7. So if you can cut 2 pieces, I went along the 11 inch. That might make a difference if we use some white scraps later. Here's 7 by 7. Okay. So I'll just set these aside because you never know if we might use them. And then let's pull our scoreboard into the camera. We're going to score it on all 4 sides at 1/2 inch. And this bone folder that I have is very sharp, so I can easily cut my paper. So I have to tell myself to be gentle with my pressure here. When I originally made this album, instead of covering it with paper, back in the day, we would paint the edges of the chipboard, and I just think this would be a cleaner look. So that's why we moved to paper and scoring and folding. You could certainly paint your edges. That looks cute too. Or sometimes you can find a white chipboard or a black chipboard. You don't have to do anything. You just let that be your color. Just making sure I'm staying straight, not slipping. Okay, so that should be the only scoring that we need to do unless we get fancy later. All right, and we need a pair of scissors. We're going to trim each corner at the angle, right at that intersection of those lines. All right, now do it again on this one. Couldn't get my angle straight there. Okay. So there we have those. Let me get rid of my garbage. And I do need to go get my glue that ran away. I may actually work with this art glitter glue for this piece of it. All right. So here's our chipboard. I'm going to take each one of my scored lines and fold it. All right. Lay my chipboard in there, and I'm going to start gluing it down. All right, so I'll start with this one. Let's hope my art glitter glue is happy with me today. So far, so good. And this is just going to grab a little faster than my other glue that I use equally, which is Fabrifix. So I can get that to fold over. You might have to help it bend a little bit. Okay. A little bit of my chipboard shows there, but it's going to be glued down, so I'm not worried about that at all. looks like that one's grabbing pretty good. We're gonna do the same exact thing. Got another one here. I'm gonna fold up my scored lines. And for these, I use 65-pound, not heavyweight cardstock. 65-pound just is more flexible when making covers for chipboard and mini albums of that sort. Okay. I always do opposite ends so that I don't do side and then quarter turn, side, quarter turn, and then not knowing it, accidentally get cockeyed. I might not have enough glue under there. I'm going to add a little bit. If it's not sticking and you keep pushing down, you may not have glue, right? All right. Again, not worried about these corners. This does not have to be exact. All right, so these can just get set aside for a little while. Let them set up and dry. I don't even think we need our trimmer at the moment. So let's get out some of our pretty papers. I'm going to set this piece aside for my cover, front and back. So we'll set that, we'll kind of reserve it. So yeah. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces that are going to make our inside cover. Let me put some pretty paper there for you to look at. I'm going to put my pen back in my art glitter glue, so maybe it'll work again later. All right, so for these, I need to trim all of mine to an even 12. And I can't recall if I did that for yours, for the kits or not. So if you haven't had it trimmed to 12 inches, go ahead and do that like me. And if you did get that done, if it was already done for you, then just fast forward to where we get going to the next piece. This one was so cute too. Just happy. All right. So we're going to do some folding. So first of all, and we're going to do this to all of them. So we're going to fold into a cross. So I'm folding one direction first. All right. And now I'm going to open it and fold up. Just want to get it as close to straight as you can. I'm just kind of looking at my edges here. And then I'll take and pinch in the middle and go left and right. So that's first. So now we've got our cross. I'm going to move it back. It looks like, it seems like it's too close to us. Nope, that's getting it further away, I think. All right, closer to us. Whew. All right. So now I think you can see it better. So we fold it up and then to the side. Now we've got this folding up. We'll leave it up and we're going to come right down and meet that bottom. So I need to turn it so I can match up my bottom edges as straight as I can. Again, I pinch in the middle and go to the left and the right. So see, this is what we have now. When we close it, these are going to be our little pages. Isn't that so cute? So let's do that on all of the remaining papers. So fold, and I gotta decide where I want. I think I want to see the pretty little flowers. So I'm gonna fold up. So right now I'm seeing the dots. And turn and make our cross. Open it back up, and then we need to fold that layer down. All right, there's page number 2. Let's do it again. Okay, this does have a right and wrong side on the back of it, my hearts. So I just need to pay attention to that. And do I want pretty gold or do I want hearts? Let's see. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about, I mean, this is probably going to be for a little girl or would have that kind of appeal. Do they want sparkly? I like sparkly, but I think they'd like the hearts better. So I'm going to go with the hearts. You're not going to see the other side. It's going to be glued down. Okay, and then come back and fold your end in half at the bottom. I'm going to have to turn it so I can get my angle. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think that's going to be a happy page. Okay, we've got 2 more to go. So if you prefer a side that I'm not choosing, feel free to do what moves you for your pages. Because sometimes I think I like the flowers, and I'm going to do pretty flowers when I take pictures and try to promote an album, a kit. I'm trying to see if this really is pretty universal. But sometimes I think it would be more, you know, if you're actually making the album and going to give it to somebody and put pictures on, sometimes the more neutral print might be better for you. So it's completely, you know, personal preference. This one has a right and a, I don't know. Yep, I think it does. So pay attention. We're not going to see, I guess we're not going to see those cute little unicorns, so who cares? Who cares? We're just going to do the confetti. Cute little happy confetti. I hate to waste good foil. I love some sparkly glitter or foil. Okay, pull it up and fold it again right in half to the bottom edge. So these are our album pages. Okay, there's just a little trick to these. We're going to glue them on top of each other. But when we do this, we're going to leave, this is the folded side. This will be the bookend. And what I'm going to do on this is use 2-sided tape. It's a little stronger for the binding. And we're going to come in about 1/4 inch. Okay, so I've left an imperfect 1/4 inch. And then I'll take my glue, which now I have to go get it. So I'll be right back. Okay, back with my glue. Couldn't believe it. It rolled and rolled and rolled. Okay, so now I'm going to take the other 3 sides with my glue. And I know that glue is going to swoosh a little bit. And I'm going to also hit kind of like a little X in the middle so I can avoid maybe some bubbling going on. And let's peel away the transfer tape. And I'm going to put just a teeny bead of glue on this, so if I need to slide it into place a little bit better, I can. And I'm going to glue this one on top of this one. So I'm going to line up here at my corners and then press down. It's a little off. Well, this is not like a precise, exact album. It's going to be pretty close, and it's going to be very forgiving because you got a lot of folds and bulk going on. right? All right, so I like the pink with the green. I also try to keep that order in mind. This is looking pretty good. So I'm going to put the hearts right on top of this one. So we'll do the same thing. We're going to put two-sided tape. It's really kind of going a little cockeyed. Let's see if I can fix that. Bulk, bulk, bulk. Let's see if I can encourage that fold a little different. Okay, in about 1/4 of an inch. And when we get it done, I'll show you the why. It's hard to describe the why, and you may already know. Okay, glue on the remaining 3 corners, 3 ends. 1, 2, 3. A little bit on top of my two-sided tape. Maybe give me a moment of forgiveness if I need it. All right, and I always start at my straight ends here. Corner and lined up. Have a shot at being pretty straight. And then I'm going to press them together. So you can kind of see what it's going to do is give us a little give on this, what do you call it, spine. Okay. And we're popping up, but we're going to tie all this together with a bow. It's definitely going to be bottom heavy because of these folds, but it's just kind of a fun little pop out. Let's do the same thing again. So we had kind of the white with the heart, so I think this color again is pretty to put the pink in there. So we're going to put two-sided tape on that pretty gold glitter. Say goodbye to the glitter. Okay. Glue on the 3 sides. And throw a little bit on top of my two-sided tape and then some glue in the middle. Okay, here comes my new one. Line it up on the straight sides, top, right, and bottom. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to pick it up and just kind of make sure everything's lining up pretty good, and it does. And one more to go. So by now you know the drill. Cute. And so now I'm just deciding, do I want this to lead my front of the album or the back of the album? I think front's just fine. All right, so we're going with the front. This is usually about how many pages I end up making this album. I don't want it to get so thick. You can do less based on what you might have available with the paper that you want to make. Okay, that looks pretty straight. Stay still. And then line it up. All right, so now we've got the basics of our album. Super cute. So let's take, we need to do some ribbon work now. Oops, my scissors are loud. So this is where I'll take my two-sided tape again. And I think the reason I gave you 3 inches is because, or 3 yards, is because I think a 12-foot piece is just not quite enough because you want to have room to cut your, to tie your bows and then trim them. So I'm going to go 18 inches. So I've measured 1 at 18, and now I'm going to cut the rest of them. So we need 1, 2, 3. Four. 5. And 6. And one of them might be a little short depending, but mine came out pretty even. All right, so we're gonna need all of these. It takes a lot of ribbon. Ooh, sorry, that was loud too. So this is our opening side, right? This is the seam, the spine. So I'm going to place 2 at this end. And I don't want a big gap in the middle, so I'm not gonna go to the very top. I'm gonna come in about 1.25 inches. And I'm gonna tack this down with some 2-sided tape. And I'm gonna bring some in so that it can grab onto the papers and the glue to help support it, okay? So I'm gonna do the same thing now from the bottom, about the same height up. And tack it down with my 2-sided tape. We need to flip it over to the back and do the same thing. So now we've got our tails out here that are our guide to where we're gonna put it. I'm just gonna lay it right along that tail so they line up pretty well. And one more. So I guess I didn't give you, I gave you, there's going to be plenty to tie the bows, but I gave you exactly what we're using for the cuts if we're going to cut it at 18 inches each. That's why you've got 3 yards of this pretty ribbon. And it looks so stiff and sparkly, but it ties very nicely. It's very forgiving. So then the other 2 we need to place are going to go right smack dab in the middle to tie it closed. So we'll do the same thing now to our other set of bows, ribbons. So I'm just kind of eyeballing, which is you can kind of feel right at that fold. Close enough for me. I'm going to want to tack this down. Flip her over again. Looks kind of high, but close enough. I'm good with that. Need another piece of 2-sided ribbon or 2-sided tape. Super strong stuff. Okay, here's where my tail is. I'm going to bring that in a little bit, lay it down lined up, and tack it down. All right, so if you remember, this is our front, this is our sides. So now before we tie these and trim them, we're going to get our covered pieces of chipboard, and these are going to glue right on top for our album cover. All right, so I figure we may as well let the 2-sided tape do some work for us also. All right, so I'm going to put a bunch of glue. And it might be a good idea. I'm going to see if I've got some clips to hold it into place while it dries. I do have a couple of those binder clips, or if you have big paper clips, it might be a good thing. I might be overkilling it, but. So I'm just putting a good amount of glue around the inside piece of my chipboard. Because we are holding down ribbon. So I'm going to put some glue on my ribbon so all this Fabrifix glue can connect and meld together. All right, and here we go. I just got some glue on my finger, so I'm wiping that away. I'm sliding it into place, top and bottom. Okay, nice. Nice, nice. I want it all to make nice contact. So I'm just kind of pressing it at the back as well. And since I've got those binder clips, I may as well get them out and use them. Let's make sure it all makes good contact. I'm trying to hit it over top of that ribbon. Okay. So now I'm going to flip to my back side and do the same exact thing while that front side is drying. Peel away. Maybe. Doesn't want to let go. There we go. There we go. All right, lots of glue kind of around the ribbons so that it can all mesh together. Over that two-sided tape that gives me a little time to wiggle things around. And then on the chipboard side, a piece that you can, whoops, see that natural color. Okay. Then I'll just slide it into place. All my ribbons are nice and flat. Again, this is not a perfect album, but it's super cute. I don't know if I have any more of those little clips in this bucket that I pulled out. So I'm going to pull these away and assume they've done their job on that side. We'll just let it hold in place for this back side for just a bit. Okay, so now we can go ahead and tie our bows, kind of get that out of the way before we decorate our cover. So if I stand it up, well, you can't see that. I wonder if it'll stand that way. Maybe it will a little bit. So I'm going to, see how it's got that movement? So I like that it allows for, you know, your photos to get in there, and that's all got that two-sided tape. And I'm not going to pull tight because I want it to be as balanced top and bottom as I can. This one, we're not going to pull tight because it's already got a lot of layers folded in together. And I may come back and trim these, make the bows a little smaller. But look at how cute that is. I'm going to go ahead and trim what I've got for now so that we're not fighting these bow ends while we're covering our front and back covers. So that's our back. Super cute, right? All right, so let's take this off. And here's our front. This is our closure. So when we're done looking at our album, tie a pretty bow. So we just got bows and bows and bows. All right. So now let's get busy on our front cover, shall we? So I'm going to come back and do a second video. This was the assembly. We'll decorate our album and we'll put a little cute things in our pages for the second part of class. And then you'll have this great pattern that you can get creative with your own ideas and fun little fold-up album. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.